Hey guys! So I'm back today with another video. Just to tell you guys up front, I'm not going to be making these videos on like a schedule like some people do. Because I have school and other things, I like to put that stuff first, so that's usually just going to come before everything else, so my schedule is going to be a bit mixed up. I think the last time I did a video was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, or more than that actually. So that's a long time to be filming, so I'm sorry about that. My cat was trying to get in the way. Apologize. Okay, so this video is going to be a bit different. Other than that. And as I said in some of my previous videos, I have been enrolled in an art class within my school from August 13th, and I never really showed you guys any of my artwork from that class, and so this is going to be me showing some of my artwork and also something that I made within my horticulture class. It's not necessarily art, but it still has to do with crafts and therefore kind of being art. So I'm just gonna start showing things to you. Okay, so the first thing that we started really doing in art were more like portraits and stuff, and unfortunately right now I do not have those because they were in a sketchbook. Come on, Dot. My cat's trying to eat something near me. And so I don't have those to show, but I did one of Marilyn Monroe. Yes. And the good thing was I actually showed it off to people and I asked them who they thought it was, and surprisingly most of them came back and said, hey, that's Marilyn Monroe. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy that people actually knew who that was. So that's pretty amazing to be able to draw someone recognizes. And we were also drawing people that were sitting directly across from us, which was kind of difficult because it was the first day of school and we were doing that. So, and I've been drawing manga and anime stuff for a really long time, so to draw actual people was a big step up for me. Okay, so then after that we started doing, what did we start doing? Well, these are going to be out of order initially, but we played with charcoal for a little bit, and this is actually really smudged now, but it was a charcoal drawing of 2 pots. And I actually got it placed in an art gallery, and I was really happy, or within an online art gallery, and I was really happy that it actually got placed on one of those. And so, yeah, a lot of people smudged it. We were originally supposed to spray it with... Dot. My cat's trying to get in the film. Are you camera shy? No, you just want to be in front of the camera. She's an attention lover. But the fact with the charcoal, it's very, very thin, and it basically rests on the top of the paper, which made it really difficult. And so we were supposed to go outside and spray it with this kind of substance that sat over top of the charcoal so that the charcoal wouldn't come off. But I didn't really spray it well enough, so people started touching it and their fingerprints got all over it, and so it's kind of smudged now. But it still looks pretty good, I think. So that was my charcoal. And I actually drew another one with an egg and a different shadow for an egg, but that one didn't turn out as well since it was my first one that I drew. I'm just gonna lay a paper over that. And then we started doing... These are really out of order, but we did some other things, but then I wanted to show you my paintings. So my first painting, I believe, is actually my best painting out of all of my paintings. This one, hi Dot, you just want to sniff things. This one was my first painting I've ever drawn in my whole entire life. Well, I'm pretty sure I've drawn or painted other things before, but this one I was actually trying on, and I was really happy with the results, that it came out that well. And yeah, I got an A+ on it. I'm so happy. I'm actually using it as my background on my phone. How sad is that? But Stop it. The thing with this painting was that our job was to make it monochromatic, which, you know, one color. So I used blue because it was supposed to be with cool colors for one drawing and then warm colors for the other. And since blue is in the cool color, I chose to use blue. And so essentially I used tones and shades of blue to create this. I mixed the blue with the white to make the lighter shades, which that, if you can see it, that is supposed to be a sun over the lake, and that's reflection. That's not made out of white, that's just a really, really lightened down version of blue. So that's what that is. And then to make the darker blue, I would mix it with black and so on. So that's all made out of blues. I keep looking over to the side because I'm expecting it to go on that focus thing. And then this one I'm not too proud of, but this one was actually made out of yellows. Sorry, this is a cat post that I'm placing my camera on top of, so my cat likes to play with it. As you saw her in the video before, she just wants to play with things. She wants to be with me. So this one was made out of yellows, and if you've ever tried to mix colors, you know that yellow and black does not make a very pretty color. And even if you visualize it, it's just not going to come out great at all. So yellow wasn't a very good warm color to use. I should have used red or something like that, but I used yellow. And again, I did a sunset, and I thought, yeah, it's pretty mustard, pretty mustardy and everything, and really bright. But here, as I'm looking at it, you can see a great deal of difference. You can kind of see it, where it's just like the sun's up here, and then that's the lighter part, and then that's the darker part. You can kind of see it. But, yeah, the lighter shades were easier to use, and I used the lighter shades of yellow to create the lights, and then I used the regular, it smells like paint, I used the regular yellow as the base color, so I used that as the darkest color. I guess that wouldn't be the base color. I just used that as the darkest color. But then I actually mixed some of them in just to make the leaves on the trees. So this one wasn't my best. I still got an A+ on it, but this one was the same thing. It was just made out of the warm colors instead of the cool colors. And then we were supposed to do a 4-element drawing or painting, in which I did this one. I symbolized the leaves on the tree as the fire. Like, it was supposed to be things that reminded us of the 4 elements. So I used the leaves as a kind of fire, like you would go over to the fireplace, and that's the kind of thing I would remind myself of, is fall time with the fireplace and stuff. Earth, grass, water, of course, and then I got the wind, and then it's blowing all the little leaves. I was pretty proud of this one. The grass was particularly hard to get because I kept using the same shade of green, and so I thought that if I used it in lesser amounts in some spots that it would actually look like real grass, but it didn't really line up like that. So I actually had to mix in darker and lighter shades of green too, which I guess, you know, you could automatically assume that, but I didn't. So yeah, by the end I got it right. So that's that one. I got an A+ for that too. Yay! And then this one was supposed to be our final painting. And it was just supposed to be whatever we thought of at the moment. So I picked something, well, I'm gonna put it over here instead. So this is more Halloweenish and fall-y, but I just really like the theme. Like, I kept thinking of it in my head, and I was like, I really want to paint that. So I drew this sun, or painted, I keep saying drawn for painting. I'm just not used to painting things. But I put the sun over the tree as if the sunlight is shining at the front of the tree, which you can't see. So this is the shadow of it. This is the back, and this is the back of the hill, and then the birds are up there, and then the sun reflecting on the clouds, and then just the orange sky, like of a sunset. I was really pleased with this one. I really liked it, and I got an A+ for that too. And it started raining again. Today's a nice rainy day, which is also why I'm sitting on the floor right now, because the other places that I would normally go and sit, the screen was all blurry and you could see all the little pixels, which drive me insane. So I'm sitting here today and using my cat post. Yeah, my watercolors still need a lot of work, actually. But this one it's not really a piece of work or a piece of art, but these were just showing all the different techniques you can use within watercolor. Like this one was wet on wet, so you used a wet background with the wet paint, and that's the kind of thing you would get, like it appears runny. And then wash on wash, so like two colors mixed together, and these two color, you meet them in the middle. This one is dry and wet, which means essentially you let the background dry and then you used wet paint over top of it. This one was wet on dry, so you had a wet background, and then with the watercolor, you would actually, stop it, this plant is not for you, stop. Dot has a habit of chewing everything. Yes, her name's Dot. I named her. She's really small and tiny, so I named her Dot, like a dot. But this one, actually, with the paintbrush, when you dip the paintbrush in the water and then you go for the paint, you mix the paint in really well, and right then it's really wet. So you take a towel and actually get near the bottom of the brush and squeeze it, and it sucks out the water while leaving the color of the paint on the brush, so you can actually paint with it like real paint and it won't be all watery. So that's how you got that. And this one is Resist, and that is essentially where I took a white crayon and I stop. She just wants that. I took a white crayon and drew a design, and then painted over it, and it actually paints around the white crayon, so I like that one. It's thundering now. I like thunderstorms. And then that one's Graffiti, where you paint and make it really wet, and then while it's wet you take a sharp object. I'm trying to get it nice. Yeah, there it is. And then you scrape the surface, and either the paint will be around these scratch marks or it will go in the grooves. And then the last one was Graded Wash, and that's just where you go from dark to light. I messed up on that one, so I made that one. There wasn't really a grade for that. And this is Abstract. We were told to make a painting in which we used all those techniques, and so that's my watercolor abstract painting. And then we did just a watercolor painting, and that's mine. Not really great because I misjudged where the flower was going to be, so it actually hit the clouds, which were made out of the white crayon. So yeah. And now it's getting all red and puffy, probably because outside it's like dimmed down a lot. And then I'm gonna actually back up for a minute so I can show you this. But I was actually pretty proud. I had this, yeah, this is a poster. I had this put out into the cafeteria. That is that. I colored that all with paper. I colored it all with colored pencil. And for this, if you've watched my drawing materials video, you'll hear me raving about the Prismacolor colored pencils. This was soulfully done by all of them. And I really liked the Prismacolor colored pencils. And this actually has a quote on it, in which this was our calligraphy unit. Sugar! Cats are really liking the spotlight today. So this has a quote on it, and I used it with calligraphy. and it's kind of backwards right now. I don't know if it will switch around later, but it probably won't. But it's written by Albert Einstein. The quote is, yeah, I went old style and went on to the old quotes and stuff. I'll read it to you guys because I think it's beautiful. If I can actually sit without my cats bugging every little thing that I have. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. I love it. So that's my poster drawing. Yeah, my poster with calligraphy. That was our calligraphy unit, so I chose to do that. We were supposed to come up with a quote before we came up with a drawing, and so I came up with the quote, and then I just decided, yeah, I have this thing about sunsets, but I came up with the quote, and then I was like, oh, well, a sunset would be perfect for that. So I drew a sunset over the mountains in colored pencil, which took days to do. I didn't really like that very much, since I don't really coloring with colored pencil very often. Next we did, well, actually I'm skipping a lot of things. What are you chewing? What are... Sorry about that. I have a plant next to me. I was going to show it to you guys. Might as well tell you because she keeps trying to get it. But I have a plant that I made in horticulture. It's a dried flower arrangement, and this is what I was planning to show you from horticulture. I'm trying to move it around so the cats don't get it, and there are 2 of them right next to me. So I'll actually show one to you. That would be Sugar, Miss Sugar. And then that would be Miss Dot. And that was completely random, and I apologize. I apologize a lot for things. But then the next thing we did in art, which isn't really the next thing, but it was just the next thing I had next to me, was printmaking. I didn't actually think that this was going to be so much fun, but I really liked it. We took a piece of linoleum, which is this little thing with this side, and we carved into it. And I had a lot of fun trying to carve this design out. I did this design, which was extremely hard because you had to get in the grooves and make like all these sharp curves, which was difficult because if you stab yourself with that scalpel thing, it hurts. So trying to get the curves on this was difficult work. So, and then after this, we put it on the bench board, and then we spread the paint over it and then just put it on a piece of paper. And I actually have it in my backpack, the turnout, but I don't really want to go run back there and get it, so I'll just say that it turned out pretty well. And I did blues and a turquoise of this on a piece of paper, so it was really good. Sugar, as I said, cat post. So I did that. I don't know exactly what grade I got on that actually, but I really like that. And right now we're working on a unit where we find an artist online, and I chose Van Gogh, and we had to find the history and the biography of them and then write their name and the kind of style they used, whether it be painting or drawing or anything like that. So I'm gonna have fun with that. But then the final project is to mimic one of their pieces of art, in which I'm gonna be painting the Starry Night. So when I actually paint that, I'll come back and show you because I'm really excited to do that. I'm really excited, guys. And then now we're working on a little box in which we make a little environment of it. And it's supposed to be where we want to be the most or where we don't want to be the most. And where I want to be the most right now is in winter, so I'm making a winter scene inside the box. So I'm having a lot of fun making the really, really small snowflakes that are literally the size like that. And then I'm going to make styrofoam snowball inside, and then I'm trying to make the Christmas tree, and it's really difficult, but I'll have a lot of fun with that. So I'll show you guys everything else when I get it, and including all the portraits, because that will definitely help out a lot of people. Okay, so the last final thing that I have is my dried flower arrangement. I made this at the Episcopal Church in our county. And so we just went there and we just started coming up with things, and we just got this, and then we found all the rest of this stuff and we had to put it in all the styrofoam. So I was really happy with the outcome of it. But yeah, and it's very fall-like, and that was my goal when I was making it, was to have it fall-oriented, and so that I can have it in. And it actually kind of looks Thanksgiving and, well, Thanksgiving's in fall, duh. Thanksgiving and Christmas time, so I'm going to have that up there. I've been having it on the fireplace mantle up there, so I'm really excited, and we've been having that up there for a while, and it will stay around since it's dried. Well, that's all I have for right now, so I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch it, and I'll be back with some other videos very soon. I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but I'll come back with another video.